Hey, this is Colby Guillory. I'm here live with the Lakeview Film Podcast, and today we have Queen of Casualties. Play your shit.
We're Queen of Casualties.
Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
We're Queen of Casualties. I'm Ethan.
I'm Brett. I'm Jude Wood. Judson.
I'm KJ.
Yeah, so that's all four of us.
Yeah! Absolutely. Well, that was lovely, boys, but did you bring anything else with you?
Plenty.
We got one more, right? We got two songs total. Right?
2 songs more.
We got 2 more songs.
We have a lot more songs, but
we've only ever written 2 songs ever, so sorry.
Hey, shh, they don't know that. Well, they do now.
Oh,
We cut it. We cut it. Don't worry.
I guess we'll play another one. Yeah.
Give us the title.
It's called Lies.
And the title of the last
like,
song.
you know, if you lie to somebody.
Yeah. Can you tell what the title of the last song was?
The title of the last one is called Standard Teenage Delinquency. It comes out on November 22nd on everything. Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, whatever your preferred streaming platform is. Pandora, it is going on
SoundCloud.
TikTok, it is going to be on TikTok.
What?
Yeah, and Instagram, whatever, you know, the music thing that you use, yeah, it's going to be on there.
Like Musically?
Yep.
Is that a thing anymore?
No, TikTok turned into Musically.
Oh, yeah, that, then, yeah.
TikTok turned into Musically. All right. So let's get into the second song.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone seems to nothing I do is perfect, but it's still really true.
I love you, Daddy.
I'm sick of the whole damn process. Looking each time again. I'll try, but I can't be honest. All was friends. I'm done with the bullshit. I'm done with the lies. I'm done with the heartache. I'm done with goodbye. I'm sick of the pressure. Just look in my eyes. I'm just sick of the lies. All my friends were filled with sorrow. And all my misery. The weight is a hard to swallow. And for someone that's hard to see. Never cared that much for drama. I'm like anybody else with me. Never cared for the fakes that lend me. Somebody help me please. I'm done with the bullshit. I'm done with the lies. I'm done with the heartache. I'm done with the fight. I'm sick of the pressure. Just look in my eyes. I'm sick of the lies. I miss you. I'll always be by your side. I swear that I am fine. I just can't keep telling lies. I love you. I miss you. I'll always be by your side. I swear that I am fine. I just can't keep telling lies. My life's filled with sorrow.
That was awesome. That was awesome, guys. Can we get the cameraman to look down here at my phone for a second?
No. So, just out of curiosity, where do you fit that into your set? You know, between those two songs, you got a wide sound going on.
We have quite a lot of different genres that we blend together. And we kind of take pride in that. We very much take pride in that. But,
Hey, Mike.
we very much take pride in the fact that we have a lot of genres that we span across. But we usually just kind of put it in the middle. Yeah. We just kind of put it in the middle. It just kind of, we feel it out. But we kind of go by feel for that one.
Set breathe right in the middle.
Yeah, we let it breathe by itself.
Break time.
But
All right. Let's get into the next one. What's the next one?
next one's called Ray Fun, like ray gun, but you misspelled it. because that's what happened.
And hold on, what do you like seeing more in your pits? Do you like seeing like lighters or just like fists and crowd killing stuff?
Yes.
Just
Deaths. I like seeing deaths in the
Oh.
wait.
Casualties.
Broken
I like plenty of casualties in the crowd.
Oh, haha. Shut up, Judson. But,
Oh, yeah.
yes. Both.
Okay.
The queen of the band!
Let's play it. Come on.
All right, this is our softest song that we have.
Softest song.
Our softest song.
That was brutal, man. That was great. I love that breakdown.
I like that brutal, perfect.
All right. Can you guys veer off a little bit to the couch?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely fucking not.
Or like on the amp, on the couch.
Like on the amp and the couch, like just more on this side of town. The town, you know?
Judson gets the.
Yeah, this was like a pain in the ass, but I'm glad we did it.
I'm glad we actually did it. Like I didn't.
Y'all going through the effort.
Yeah, like for real.
Like
We appreciate it a lot.
I honestly, for me, from my end, I never thought this was gonna get done. Yeah.
We're here.
We're here now.
We're sitting.
Right?
Yeah, one of
Thanks to my
personnel
father,
critics,
who's
man,
running sound.
Thank you, Dad.
making
Thanks,
stuff
Dad.
happen.
Thanks, Dad.
He's
Thank
the
you
best
for
dad
this.
ever, and I owe him my whole life. So.
I
Yeah.
mean, technically.
So yeah, no, and after this, I'm gonna make sure he doesn't lift a finger in cleaning this up. So yeah,
Must be nice to have a dad.
yeah, it's really nice to have your dad as your roommate for college.
Roommate.
Whoa.
That's what people keep saying. Anyways, all right, so Colby.
Yeah. So before we get into the
Yeah, this one's pretty good.
before we get into the thick of it, we got to pretend that this is a film podcast. So you guys see Joker?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have not. I'm the only one that hasn't.
You are gonna get spoiled. I'm sorry. We definitely can't hold back for this. Sorry.
All right. Yeah, like let's just do like a really quick rundown.
I got everybody.
You got everybody? Okay. Yeah, like this a film podcast.
Nobody move.
Jeez Louise. Okay, Daniel. Now, okay, so we have a second Daniel here with us. He's gonna be running. So you know how to zoom in and stuff, right?
Who's the first Daniel?
Okay, so the first Daniel actually left.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was 3 Daniels in this house, but he left after we were watching like some Star Wars stuff. And then that's Daniel Munoz, and that's Daniel Bomber. Say hi, Daniel.
Your last name is Bomber? Yes. That's badass.
Okay, Boomer. So anyways, whenever a person's talking, make sure you grab the mic.
We just stopped and looked at him.
Does this mic work? Can we put this? All right, never mind.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, whenever somebody's talking, make sure you, yeah.
If it... Dope.
All right, so Colby.
Yeah, so just to give a little background to our viewers who aren't really into the whole scene, San Antonio really is Metal City. And
It
so
is.
A question that I would pose to the band is, how do you feel that you're carving out your own niche in the city that's already a bit more saturated than a usual town would be with metal?
Well, we feel like because it is Metal City, USA, we feel like we have a good, startup scene. It's nice because there's a lot of people that will support local bands. There's a lot of people that will come out to those shows just for the sake of supporting the local bands. And it's really cool being able to have all of our friends and family and stuff and come out and everything like that.
Yeah, just like to kind of, I don't know what he's saying. Like, I think we're definitely on the right path of carving our own niche. That's definitely what we want to do because, we like we said earlier, we really pride ourselves on our variety, and I think that's pretty much something that we don't see much of in any scene nowadays. So, yeah, we're just gonna keep continuing to we just sit down and write what we want to write, and all of our influences and everything just kind of lead us to do songs that are in totally different genres on their own, and we like that, because we like all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I guess we're just really excited. We're fairly new, but we're hungry, and watch out for us, San Antonio.
Yeah, you're very hungry because you ate all the pizza already.
Yeah, that was me.
Called out.
Yeah, well we bought like a bunch of water bottles, like in case you guys have thirsty.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. We don't really eat. Me and him don't really eat pizza anymore, but.
I like how you checked the drum set before anything. Like you came in and you're just like, what is this? And you're like, all right.
That's his niche. Yeah, it's drums.
Yeah.
You never know, like when someone says, "Hey, use my drum set," you never know.
Give him the mic.
It's facts.
Give him the mic.
All right, so I guess what we should do is start, like, how did y'all all find each other?
Oh, so Brett and I right here have been playing together for what, like 4 years?
Yeah, 3.5.
Three, yeah, a pretty long time. Since I pretty much moved to San Antonio.
Are you not from San Antonio?
No, well, my family's military, so I've lived all over the United States.
Oh, so if you're not from San Antonio, okay.
No.
I feel it, bro. I feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's not from San Antonio.
You're not from San Antonio?
No, I'm from El Paso, and then I moved to Germany.
Daniel here is from
Did
Mexico.
you go out of
Sorry.
states?
Huh? I never lived outside of the states. No.
Okay, but I feel it, bro.
No, that's not true because you have the Hawaii area.
Well, that's still in the states. Hawaii is the 49th state.
Is it? We're gonna have to put subtitles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, I'm really bad at this. But yeah, Brett and I have known each other for 3.5 years. We met playing at a music school here in town called School of Rock. We played there for a very long time together. We have been in, 3 bands together? Yeah, 3 bands. Every band that I've been in has had Brett in it. So, yeah, and then I started up this thing. This came out as an idea like a year ago. And 2.5 months ago, it came into existence and I knew KJ here from working at Papa John's, hence why I said we don't eat pizza anymore. Both of us worked there for a very long time.
That's why I got Domino's.
That's a good decision. Yeah, no, we worked at Papa John's for a really long time together. Came to know him there.
Got food poisoning from that place.
Jammed like once, twice, and then when I had this idea, I asked him if he would be a drummer. If he would be my drummer. Yeah, I asked him if he would learn drums. I asked him if he would be my drummer. And I'm really bad at moving the microphone. And then Judson here, I only actually met about 2-3 months ago, right when the band started. There was apparently one of my old friends from high school gave him my Instagram because he told her that he was a musician that was looking for people to jam with, and she told him that I was a good drummer, and he contacted me and asked if I wanted to jam, and I was like, well, I'm doing vocals right now for my band, but you by all means please come out and jam with us, and because we need another guitarist. And so he came out and jammed, and I haven't been able to get rid of him since.
And now y'all looking. Now you guys are looking for a bass player right here.
Yeah, we are looking for a bass player.
Having a bass player is very important for a band.
You could say that, yeah.
Link it right there on the screen.
Yeah, we'll put our ad up on there for
Yeah,
Instagram,
definitely.
so somebody can hit us up if they want to play bass for us, because we need a bassist and we're playing a lot of shows, and having a bassist would be really cool.
You better be good or you won't leave with your life.
Oh.
Hey, and can we hear when your next show's going to be?
Our next one is actually coming up on here on the 22nd of November. It's at the Paper Tiger. We're playing the big stage there at 7:30.
Oh, big stages.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should give me some VIP. I'm just kidding.
We can get you in for $8. $2 off.
You think I can afford that?
No, Amadeo would die. He wouldn't make it out of the show alive.
Oh yeah, probably not. I probably would die.
Oh no, it's not going to be that bad.
I mean, if Colby, look at Colby. Would you expect him to be a metalhead?
Yeah.
But when you first met him.
Okay, what are the attributes of a metalhead?
Yes.
Handsome, smart. Handsome, smart, good with the ladies. You know, just the overall best person ever.
There's no attributes. It's kind of like the vibe, and the vibe I sort of got from him was like, maybe I don't know.
Colby's on another planet.
I feel like he likes everything and anything and everything, but I mean, really, there's no attributes for anything. It's whoever you are. If
But we can all agree that Colby's like from another planet.
You vibe check the show.
It's just a vibe check. Straight vibe check.
Yeah, man.
I can dig that, man.
All right, we got another question for you. So how do you guys feel about like this indie culture that's been blowing up over the past few years? Like, do you guys feel like it's just?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I for one love it, but they
Indie culture, as in like.
Like, do you feel like so? Whenever there's indie, it's just a broad group of people just starting off, right? But do you feel like because there's a lot of indie genre going on? Do you feel like it's?
I feel like it's great. It's allowing a lot of.
Sorry to cut you off, but could you give some specific examples so the audience knows you're not just blowing smoke out their ass? Like,
I'm sorry.
Like,
I apologize.
Like the Willows, like that's an indie kind of artist band.
Who are the Willows?
I've never heard of that.
You never heard of the Willows?
I know exactly what he's talking about.
Y'all ever listen to Mom Jeans?
That's a good indie band.
Yeah, me personally, honestly, like, it's not always my cup of tea, but I don't think you can, if, the way I see it is, like, if you're a musician, how can you not support, like, any other genre as long as it's people that are trying to live their dream just like we are, you know, so, I mean, more power to them. I don't personally listen to the half of that, but more power to them, and I think it definitely helps because music has been a big part of culture for a while, but I feel like it kind of fell off lately, and I feel like if anything can bring that back into pop culture in general, any form of music that's doing that, I'm all for. So yeah, but no, I'm just joking.
But yeah, I dig it. I'm on the same page as him. I don't really listen to it too much, but I definitely like it. It's given a lot of artists a chance, a fighting chance.
Is there an indie sort of movie scene around here?
Yeah,
Or
there's
is
definitely an indie scene.
There definitely
It comes
Trust
from
me, I know. I've been doing it for 6
Guerrilla, just like anyone just going out there and making a film.
Yeah. So like, for example, I've been a filmmaker for about 6 years now, and I've I've worked with like so many different. There's so many people out there in San Antonio that are in the film industry. And they all know each other. It's like a big old family. Like there's actually an Alamo City Film Studios is down the road actually, and it's like yeah, and
Is that right by
the 13th floor.
right by the 13th floor? So therefore,
Yeah.
it's right next to.
Well, actually,
Rock
no.
Box.
What was it? The 13th floor rents space out to. No. The Alamo City Studios rents space out to the 13th floor, so they can make their stuff.
Yeah, it's right next to the Rock Box and Vibes Event Center.
They've produced a lot of stuff, like a lot. I think they've helped produce the Selena movie. That's all I can think of right now.
Yeah,
Something with Luke Perry in it. I don't know.
we play right next to there occasionally. We
That's
have a couple
good.
shows right next door to that
Yeah.
place.
The owner, he's really nice. Right now, he's working on a movie or a TV series that's gonna be. He's pitching to HBO right now.
That's dope.
Yeah.
What you said about how everybody seems to know each other and everybody it's a very small world when you actually get into it. Come to find that this is the whole metal scene in San Antonio is very much the same way. You meet one person that makes you meet everybody else because everybody knows each other. And that was really cool because that's what's given us a bunch of our opportunities. Lately, it's given us a bunch of our shows. Is that we met. I guess I'll plug them. We met Chris from Corrupted Promotions. Corrupted Promotions. And that was due to another band. That was Lucid City. Was it Marco? Yeah, Marco from Lucid City, a local band. He introduced us to Chris from Corrupted, and we've gotten so many. And Chris has been more than nice to us. He's given us so many opportunities already. He put our face on the next flyer, which is wild because that doesn't happen very fast usually, but we played one show with them and we're on there. But yeah, mad props to them because they've been nothing but good to us. But yeah, it's crazy how many people know each other and everything like that.
Yeah, just keep building up momentum. And then
So tell me about some of your goals. Like, what are you guys trying to get out of this with your music?
I write for. Well, I mean, obviously, with anybody's dream of music is to make it, big, be listened to, be heard, by a general audience. But I mean, when it first came to writing and everything, I wrote for me, just because it was an outlet and everything like that. And I'm sure these guys are the same way, right?
Yeah, for me personally, it's kind of a similar thing. Yeah, I've been writing music since I was really, really young. Before I played any instruments, I wanted to be a singer, and then I wanted to be a drummer, and then I wanted to be a singing drummer, and then I finally settled on guitar. And once I kind of unlocked the ability to write songs on guitar, I just never looked back, I guess. And so yeah, I mean, any musician whose heart is truly in it, and they're not in it just for, attention and stuff. I think anyone's ultimate goal is just to reach as many people as possible in hopefully a positive way. But our music isn't going to be for everybody, and that's okay. But hopefully we can reach some people with, some messages and stuff, and have some fun along the way too, because not everything has to be so serious. But yeah, we like having fun every now and then.
So you talked about a sort of depth that you experienced that I assume helped you to that I assumed help you
I throw you off. I'm sorry.
look,
wanna
I just want to
recollect
know,
yourself?
what did you guys have to go through to get to where you are now? Like, with your creative energies, with you saying that it was an outlet. Like, we've all heard the stories about in Slipknot, Corey Taylor would lock himself in a room and starve himself, do all this wild stuff. But what was going on in your life that brought you here, like to this being your outlet?
That's a really good question. Well, for me personally, I was the time that this band came to kind of like the forefront of my attention, when I was like, you know what, I think this is exactly what I want to do. I'm gonna start this I'm gonna set this in motion. It was during this past summer. I had a not so great summer. It was filled with a bunch of emotional turmoil and everything like that. I don't really want to get into that too much, but I was dealing with a lot of pardon my French. I was dealing with a lot of shit, and so I was coping with unhealthy methods. I even being young, nice. Just alcohol is obviously a big go-to for a lot of problems that people have. But I fell back on that, and then when I realized how stupid I was being and that wasn't productive, I decided to put any of that negative energy, those negative emotions and everything like that towards something that would benefit me and be productive. And that's when I started writing. That's when I started writing music, just to kind of vent, I guess. Some of it wasn't really lyrics. It was more just kind of writing on a paper, just to get some things out. And some of it translated well to lyrics. Some of it didn't, it's just, but what works. And yeah, so I mean, that it served as a outlet, like I said, just for a bunch of not good stuff. And yeah, and so it got us to where we are now. It's pretty good. So
yeah, like just to kind of add to what he said, like obviously, emotional turmoil is a big number one inspiration for writing music and a big motivation for it. I, for one, can attest to that for sure. I've had tough times in my life, and I've had great times in my life, and I write about those too. It's not always about, the negative emotions. I mean, sometimes negative feelings can lead to some of the best, works of art, but also, like, conversely, some of the best emotions you've ever felt can open up a whole new world of writing, just because, like, for me, I just kind of remember, hearing, like, Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana, and just as a kid, like 8 years old, with my iPod, in after-school care, and I can just think back to those days, and feel like just at that time, like the emotions that I felt through music were so complex, and so I feel like there's some people that music reaches them in a more simple way, which is totally fine, and that's all well and good, but I feel like the true musical mind just kind of break it down into a much more complex feeling that's hard to put into words. But I think it's just the want to express yourself, and then like paired with wanting to make other people feel like you're expressing something that they can relate to, because relatability is a big thing in music, and I think it's easy to be relatable if you're just yourself, because we're all people, we all feel the same things, and some more so than others. But yeah, I think it's just a lot of humility that goes into being a true, artisan in music. So yeah, I don't know if.
Yeah, most of our music, that we have, a lot of writing sessions outside of our band rehearsals and stuff, where the boys, they just kind of sit down and they just kind of go off of what they're vibing that day, and they just kind of start, somebody starts writing a guitar lick, somebody starts writing lyrics and they flip it up all the time, and who's writing what. He's sometimes writing the lyrics, he's sometimes writing the riffs. I've seen it happen both ways, and I'm more like the dad of the band. I'm about 8 years older than all these guys. I'm 26. I got a wife and a daughter and all that. But it was probably like my 15th band or something like that. But I just want to see these guys go as far as they possibly can, like potentially wise. Like being, I'm 26 and they're 18, they've had a lot less time to practice their instruments, yet they're able to just sound like they've been playing just as long as everybody else, and just like, because you've been playing guitar 8 years? 5 years? And I've been playing drums 23 years now, and both my parents were drummers,
Oh, my dad is actually a drummer. That's why we have this whole, like, he's been drumming for like
his?
40 years. Yeah, we have like 3 drum sets in the house.
That's sick. Yeah, that's what I went to
There's
college
one right
for.
there in the corner.
Drumming is like, I eat and breathe drumming. This is just like...
My family's been in the industry for like since like the 40s and stuff. Like every single person in my family plays an instrument, save for me.
That's sick.
The camera is your instrument.
Yeah.
I'm not even the camera. That's his instrument. I'm just the guy that puts everything together, right, Colby?
Putting things together.
Yeah, like
He's the
Amadeo,
director.
he's not very smart. He's not very talented, but he's a good organizer. And we got to remember that organization is the most important organ.
May not be that smart or talented.
I'm pretty smart actually. I just when you compare my intelligence to Colby, like everybody's stupid. Am I wrong?
Well, yeah, Colby's not even human.
Yeah, that's right. Colby's probably from another.
I'm just a
Put
cookie
some
delivery
glow over
guy.
him.
Oh, I've been meaning to tell you, Colby. So this is unrelated, but it's really funny, and I just want to get your reaction from it. Okay? So when we were in high school, I used to sometimes go over to Colby's house. He lived in the Dominion, which is the richest part of town, of course. And I met his stepmom, but I didn't know it was his stepmom. I thought she was the maid for years. And I didn't figure that out, not when I asked you about it. I figured it out when I was like, so how long have you been working for Colby's family? And she was like, I'm his stepmom. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry, I just couldn't picture you being with your Colby's dad.
That's not awkward.
No, the worst part is that he's seen them kiss.
I was like, ooh, scandalous.
Oh. This man.
No, my whole family thinks he's gay. He was eating, at the boil, he was eating crawfish with the shell on.
I've never eaten crawfish, and I didn't know. And the
You're
thing
like,
is-
oh, that's pretty crunchy.
and I did it in front of his dad. His dad.
So not only does his dad think you're gay, he also thinks you're stupid.
His dad thinks I'm a lot of things, but he doesn't think I'm. He doesn't. I don't know. He doesn't. I don't think I'm gonna be honest. Your dad does not like me. Your dad hates me.
All right, well, stop flattering my dad. Back to the music. I feel like there was still a bit more answer to that question that I'd asked.
Oh, well, getting back to that, there is obviously what I was saying beforehand is, I was drawn from a lot of negative emotions. But that first song that we played there earlier, the standard Teenage Delinquency one, that comes out on the 22nd. What day does it come out, Judson?
November 22nd, 2009.
November 22nd.
What day does it come out?
It comes out on a Friday.
Yes, it does. It comes out on a Friday. Anyway, that song, it was written in the dead middle of all that emotional turmoil that I was speaking about during the summer. But obviously it's a much more upbeat, happier song, despite how much I scream. But I mean, it's about partying and doing a bunch of dumb shit, which is, in the chorus, and doing a bunch of dumb shit with your friends. Because you kind of finding the good within the bad and everything. There's that aspect of it too. I don't know if you have anything to build on that. But.
Do you
Don't let them lie to you. These boys are a bunch of goody two shoes.
Okay. Do you guys find it harder to get gigs, or is it easier?
Stupid easy
We have.
compared to what I thought.
Yeah. Okay. So normally it would be very difficult, but we have been blessed, and there's been nothing.
Thanks, San Antonio.
There's been nothing but good reception for us.
Yeah?
recently.
thought it was gonna be way
we thought it was going to be way harder than it has been, and it's just because we've gotten connected to really good people that have been really nice to us, and we're very, very thankful for that.
That's good to hear.
Lately, it's just been falling in our lap, all the shows.
Yeah, literally what he said. Everything's been falling into our lap.
Like you're gonna be playing at the Paper Tiger.
Oh, we're gonna be playing at Paper
That's a
Tiger on
big
the
deal.
22nd.
Like real pump played at the Paper Tiger.
Bands in December.
Yeah, we're also opening up for one of his favorite bands ever on the 9th of December
Who?
at the Paper Tiger. A band called Number 12 Looks Like You. They're they're like a mathcore, grindcore, jazz. they're a bunch of they're really good. They're really talented. It's very, very multi-genre and very, very a trip. It's a trip to listen.
Will Car Bomb be there?
Huh?
Will Car Bomb be there?
No. But there is Moontooth. There's a band called Moontooth also gonna be there. Steak Sauce Mustache, and then Purge the Impurities. They're also a local.
Can we
band.
go into the names of these bands, please?
It's something
Because
else.
I really want to talk about. Okay, because I only know a couple of bands, and I don't even remember anymore. The more I think about it, is I don't remember any bands' names, but I know that they're pretty ridiculous. So, like, what are some band names that you've heard over the years that are just the most ridiculous names?
The Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza.
Yes, that one.
I'd never heard of Steak Sauce Mustache before, but that's a pretty funky one.
Yeah, that is a pretty funky
yeah, there's there's freaking
Infant Annihilator.
Infant Annihilator's a big
Yes,
one.
those guys
yeah.
are badass.
Yeah, Infant Annihilator. Cannibal Corpse, yeah, they're pretty weird name. I don't know. Can you think of any?
It's hard to say what band names have you heard over the years, being that.
Disfiguring the Goddess.
Oh yeah, there's that one. Like I said, that's gonna be a him question because over the years he's been in this scene for years, and while we've been like listening to stuff in this scene for some years, we haven't actually been in the scene for 3 months.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to say over the years.
Also,
But-
it's kind of a bad question because to us, these are just like normal names.
Yeah.
There's nothing weird about Infant Annihilator.
Yeah, no, but if somebody hears it, they're like, "Oh, you kill babies." That's
Yeah, so, yes, I remembered my question. I was going to ask, because I've heard a bit from Judson that you guys are sort of neats right now. How do you plan to bridge the gap between not working and being banned full-time making money?
very slowly with a lot of time and effort. Getting to the point where you can make a lot of money off of music is very difficult. Especially because we're all very strongly opinionated in the fact that streaming killed the music industry, hardcore. Like, huh? Oh, are we two of us believe that?
No, I was saying 2 of us live at home and 2 of us don't live
Mike.
Oh yeah, and then 2 of us.
Mike.
that don't live at home to go out.
Oh, and then 2 of us. What he was saying is that 2 of us live at home, 2 of us don't. Brett and I are, from San Antonio and are still almost fresh out of high school. I guess I've been out of high school for a year, but I graduated young. But so we're still pretty young. He's from the Valley.
Oh yeah, I'm from McAllen, so for me it's like the whole San Antonio scene. I was actually introduced to the San Antonio scene in June. I was able to fill in on bass for a band who I'm good friends with called Dirty Motel. I guess I'm plugging them. Go check them out. But yeah, they were gracious enough to ask me to fill in on bass when they needed someone, and so I met a couple of bands from there. And so like, but even then, I'm fairly new to the scene, and even then, like, I'm new to band life in general. This is only my second serious band that's ever played a show, which for me is just kind of something that always almost felt unattainable, because from where I come from, the Valley, it's kind of really hard to get any exposure at all, just because we don't have much of a music scene.
You're from the Valley.
You know, yeah, I'm from the Valley. I'm from McAllen. Oh, Edinburgh, Texas. So,
Rio,
yeah,
Rio Grande Valley.
yeah.
Man, well, the Berkeley hoodie just threw me off.
Yeah, no, okay, so yeah, this is just
gonna
really
ask me
quickly
about
explaining this. I'm not from Boston, no. No, I went to Berkeley College of Music for 3 summers in a row for this guitar sessions camp that I was lucky enough to go on and met a lot of
Summer
really
camp. You went to
badass
summer
people.
camp.
I went to guitar summer camp, yeah,
Your
so
summer camp was at Berkeley?
yeah, Berkeley
Summer
College of
camps were
Music.
at SeaWorld.
Yeah, very it's different privileged life.
I've never been to
nowadays.
summer camp.
You ever been to a summer camp?
No.
But-
It's too late now.
But yeah, returning to the
John
question.
Knox.
Yeah. For me, it's been a really quick learning curve, but I'm definitely like getting used to it. But yeah, it's a lot of. It's really hard to start out as a band not being financially dependent on yourselves, just because there's so much stuff that goes into it, whether it be gear or booking a practice spot or recording or eventually, paying to play at places, because that's, unfortunately later down the road, that's kind of the only option bands have when they want to start, touring and stuff. So it's a lot of, taking a investment, it's investment in yourself and your dream. But for me personally, it hasn't been hard to let go of that money, because to me it's just investing in a future that I have a lot of confidence in, especially with these 3 guys in my band. So yeah.
Yeah, we spend a lot of money on this band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see you guys, and it's not an insult thing. I kind of want to see you guys just like really rock out hardcore at Ingram Park Mall.
we would play literally anywhere.
That's my favorite mall.
We will play literally anywhere.
The dorms. Doherty.
No.
Doherty.
I don't want to get kicked out.
Dude, I would definitely play in your dorm hall.
You would. I would.
Just put a mask on. Put a mask on.
So I have a question. How did you find Colby, and like how did you find Colby?
Okay, so yeah, I found Colby funny enough. Okay, so in case it hasn't been said 7,000 times in this episode, Colby and I are both metalheads. So, but I didn't really know that. I didn't know the dude, and I was walking out of my dorm hall, St. Mary's University, and I heard him listening to Animals as Leaders while playing ping pong, which I thought was kind of absurd. But I walked up to him and I was like, "Hey, what is that?" He's like, "Animals as Leaders," and I was like, "No way." It's like, "Yeah, you weirdo," and I was like, "Yeah, I listen to them too." And then, and then I guess ever since then we just kind of bonded over our love for metal and music in general. And
Okay, cause like I can't go in the car with Colby. I mean, it's not that I don't like metal. I love metal, but I can only listen to it so much. You understand?
yeah,
Cause
Like
what-
to see it.
yeah, it's not for everybody.
it's not forever. I'm fine with it. Like I can rock out to it, but Colby listens to it 24/7. I can't go in the car with him. I'm like, can we play something like calmer? I was like, oh yeah, sure, yeah, let me play something. And then he fucking just like even louder. Like
No, I collect CDs. Like
you get the whole CD collection.
I have a 6 CD changer in my car. I have the entire Acid Bath discography in there. I have like a bunch of Death records, Obituary, Morbid Angel,
This
of
dude's
course.
fucking sick.
Godflesh. Love Godflesh. So underrated. But look, we're running out of time.
Yeah, we're starting to run out.
Yes, but I do have this question because everybody knows the Beatles.
Yeah.
Everybody knows about Yoko Ono.
Who's your Yoko Ono?
Well,
Oh man.
No, just kidding.
it's definitely not Sydney because she's a nice person
No,
on earth.
I wasn't gonna say that.
So
Wait, what?
we don't have a Yoko Ono, thank God.
What was that? Was that the actual question?
Yoko Ono.
I didn't even.
That wasn't the full question. I was
I don't
just going to
know
ask,
what
like,
Ethan does not know his pop culture apparently.
no, really? Okay, let's
kill
pivot this question. What's it like picking up chicks and being able to say you're in a band?
That's a complete misconception. That shit does not happen. I don't know who created a sick vibe for young boys like me when I was listening to that.
Well, I can see it working for this guy.
Okay, Brett, let me tell you something. And I'm not going to name names, but Brett has mistakenly gotten some of my friends asking for a Snapchat, and I politely declined because he's mine, so back the off. No, but yeah, Brett's definitely got the most pull out of all of us, I think.
Yeah, no, it's because he's tall, handsome, has an earring.
And he plays guitar. And yeah, no, literally like before we started this whole thing, I posted that little video on my Snapchat of like everybody in the room. And within 5 minutes, somebody replied to it, was like, "Who was that first guy? He was hot as fuck."
God,
and I was like,
"No, I was like, I sent a video of you guys playing, and then this one person was like, "Who's the guitar player?"
Yeah, no, and I was like, "Brett, yeah, he's hot as fuck." You're gorgeous, Brett.
No, it's that same person. The same person was like, "Who's this guy? Like Colby?"
Yeah, Brett, just make sure you're pulling the right kind of tail, if you know what I mean. Otherwise, dude, grow your hair out. Like, embrace the Peter Steele look, you know?
It was completely grown out, but then I shaved my head. But as far as pulling right now, I think it's few and far between because we're all so young.
How long ago did you shave your head?
June, yeah, and it's taken its time to grow back. I need it back.
Okay.
It was down to his shoulders, bro.
I just want to point out I have the longest hair in the band at this moment in time, and it will stay like that for the rest of eternity.
It will not stay like that for long.
It will definitely stay like that.
No, he will grow his hair. You underestimate him.
No, he's not catching up.
Are you gonna
Okay.
cut it?
No.
Or are you just gonna grow it all
I think we're gonna
I just have one more thing to say. That whenever it comes to like all of like the media arts, it's insane how relative they are to each other. Like what you guys are doing right now, this is what I used to be doing back in my hometown. I had like a small group of like filmmakers. We would go and get gigs like on our own, and then we would do like these like competitions. That was kind of like our big gigs, you know what I mean? And like just seeing you four, like it makes me miss like my old film crew so much. Like it's insane. Like I love that you guys are doing this. Thank you guys for coming.
All right, just to close up, you know, again...
Let me actually do the closing. Okay, so this has been the Lakeview Film Podcast. We're going to have these guys play us off with some bossa nova. But before we do that, you're going to find these guys' songs coming up on...
Yeah, everything's going to be out on Apple Music and Spotify and Amazon Music and Google Play, whatever you decide to stream it on.
Yes,
November 22nd.
And... okay, sorry. You can listen to the Lakeview Film Show on SoundCloud, YouTube, the future Facebook, and we're gonna be on iTunes.
Oh yeah, we're on iTunes.
We're on iTunes.
So go check it out.
Hey.
Yeah.
So follow us on Instagram at Queen of Casualties. We're on Facebook, Queen of Casualties.
Instagram, Queen of Casualties.
Pornhub, Queen of Casualties.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. All right. Play us out.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.